from the city is still. I'm from the city is still.
Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. My name is Anthony, and it looks like you're going to the National this year. So there's some things I think that you should probably be prepared for, because this is not your typical card show. This is like a mammoth card show. This is the type of show where if you see a card once and walk away thinking, I'm going to come back and get that card later, one of two things are going to happen. That card's either going to be purchased by somebody else before you can come back, or you're going to never find that booth again, because there are so many booths at the National, so many vendors, it's going to be insane. So even if you do find the booth again, there's no guarantee that that card is going to still be available. So my advice is, if you find something you like, pull the trigger. If you can come within close of your price, pull the trigger, because you never know if you're going to be able to get that card again later. But there's a few things I think that you should be prepared for when you're coming to the National. One thing that I always suggest is come with cash. Now, you always want to be careful when carrying cash, but make sure you do have cash, because sometimes the internet can be very shoddy at some of these locations. If you go back through the history of any of these videos I've done at the National, you can see a lot of live streams, and the internet is very, very shoddy, especially at last year's National. It was terrible. So make sure you have cash so that you can transact, because you're not going to always be able to do Venmo, PayPal, or whatnot, because of either the vendor not taking it, or potentially because the internet's bad and you're not going to have access to it. So cash is king. Make sure you bring some money. The other thing you're going to want to have is a backpack or some kind of roll behind case or something like that, because you're going to be picking up a lot of stuff throughout the week. There's going to be giveaways. Basically, a lot of the booths and the vendors there will be doing giveaways and stuff as you stop and check out their booths. So you're going to want to have somewhere to store all of the stuff that you're going to be getting. But you're also going to probably want to have something to bring anything that you're bringing from home that you want to transact with. So that would be any cards that you've been holding out on, wanting to move at the National. This is going to be an awesome time to actually be able to trade with people. You're going to be able to meet with a lot of different collectors from all over the world. This is kind of like the Super Bowl for a lot of us collectors. This is like our equivalent of the San Diego Comic-Con. This is a big deal for us. So there's going to be a lot of people that have brought a lot of different collectibles that you may never get to see again at this event. So having something to carry your slabs or cards or whatever that you'd want to transact is great. Another thing that's going to be really good about that is there's going to be opportunity to meet with different consignment houses, whether that's like Goldens of the world, the Heritage auction houses, or even some of the smaller ones. There's also consigners that do strictly eBay, like DC Sports 87. A lot of those type of services will be available. So if you do have cards that you want to transact and you don't necessarily want to do the work in transacting them, this is another opportunity to bring those with you to the National, and then you can kind of bring them to whoever you feel is going to give you the best bang for your buck in return. Another thing I always suggest is make yourself a want list before you go, because it's going to be very overwhelming when you get there. You're going to literally see a museum quality display worth of cards that you're never going to see again, but you're going to basically have access to any kind of card under the sun at the National. So if you have targets of what you're looking for, it makes it a lot easier when you're actually sorting through things and you're going into the card show with a plan. Now, a lot of times I'll let the card show come to me, But with the National, it's such a big show that you kind of need to go into it with some kind of a game plan. And obviously it's such a huge show that you don't know what can happen. Audibles will probably happen throughout of it, but if you at least have an idea, hey, I'm going into this show looking for X, Y, and Z, Shohei Ohtani or Mike Trout or whomever, it'll be a lot easier to navigate your way through this. I always suggest that you do bring comfortable walking shoes as well, because it's a lot of walking. It's going to be huge. I mean, this is the type of show that takes multiple days to really do justice. So you're going to be doing a lot of standing, a lot of walking. If you're somebody like me, like I suffer with a bad back. So one thing I suggest is, if you're able to, find a collapsible chair that you can even put into your backpack. So that way, when you're going around digging through bargain boxes, boom, there goes your collapsible chair. You sit down and you're comfortable, and hey, you're the smartest guy at this show because you just got yourself a seat. And it's going to be like gold there, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of walking and a lot of people are going to be sore from that walking. So make sure you have comfortable shoes. And if you're like me, you got a bad back, get yourself a collapsible chair, throw that sucker in your backpack, and then next thing you know, you're digging through bargain boxes for hours comfortably, unlike everyone else who's sore and probably rushing through not finding the true treasures. The other thing you're going to want to realize is there's going to be an autograph pavilion. So you're going to want to schedule your time accordingly based on anyone that you've come to get autographs on. So you want to make sure that you give yourself enough time to get through the line, and you want to make sure that you're not missing out on those opportunities, because some people will only sign certain windows throughout the week. So if there's specific autograph guests that you would like to have signatures from, make sure that you're paying close attention to when they're going to be there. The other thing is to make sure that you have cards ready for grading. Most of the grading companies are going to be there available, taking orders. Some of them may even grade on the spot. So it's a great opportunity to get cards graded and start transacting them right away. So most of the grading companies will be there, at least the legitimate ones that do really good business, should be at the National, should be represented. So if you have cards you've been holding out waiting to get graded, this is a good opportunity to bring those suckers with you. You can actually go, you can talk to the different grading companies and see, hey, is PSA the one for me? Should I go with CGC? Should I go with Beckett or whomever? I'm a big fan of SGC. They always have a really awesome presence at the National. My guy over at Huddle Card Collection did really well with some of their breaks a few years back. So SGC is a really nice one to stop by and check their booth out if you're at the National. But other things that you really want to consider is potentially bringing some kind of snack or like a packed lunch with you. You could always do the DoorDash or get whatever foods may be there. But depending on if you're on some kind of special diet or you're trying to watch your slim figure like this guy, you might want to pack some kind of trail mix or just something to get you through the day, because like I said, it's going to be a long day and it's very easy to lose track of time when you're digging through cards. And if you're there with other people and you get separated, like me and Chef Marte, sometimes we'll get separated because, I'm knee deep in cards over here, he's chasing cards over there. And a card show this big, it's going to be really hard to find each other. Now, obviously, there's cell phones, but again, sometimes in places like this, you hit dead zones where you can't necessarily connect or you can't get a signal or whatnot. So sometimes it's a good opportunity to just bring something in that backpack, that you can munch on throughout the day to get you through, because sometimes it's going to be a while before you meet up with your buddies to go grab lunch or dinner. So make sure you're prepared, especially if you're diabetic or, you have any kind of health issues or whatnot. Make sure you're prepared for that. Now, there's a lot of things that vendors will be looking for it, and you'll see a lot of people buying. There'll be a lot of transacting. There are some things that people won't be so much interested in. Now, older cards that are like, say, 80s and 90s of not key players, those are probably binders you can leave at home. But say you have graded cards or any superstars, rookies, stuff like that. These are some items that you might want to potentially start packing away to bring with you to sell to some vendors or to some other collectors at some of these trade nights that are going to be forming as well. So again, guys, highly suggest checking out the National if you are able. I've been to the last few myself, and it's a really good time. My favorite part is actually getting to connect with all the people I talk to on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on all of these social medias, actually getting to see people put faces to names. It's a wonderful time. And like I said, the who's who of the hobby is going to be there. So come on out and enjoy this huge hobby palooza starting on July 26th through the 30th in Chicago, Illinois. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Leave me some comments down below if I forgot anything important. Till the next video, may God bless you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. See you later.
I'm from the city. I'm from the city. The city is. I'm from the city. The city is good.